Welcome back to the channel. It is Monday. No idea what day it is, but it's the last day of my Christmas fortnight off. And it's been a really good time off actually, despite the weather. I've done loads in the garage and done a lot in the Jeep, as you've seen. Thanks for commenting on the videos. And that bit of fern hanging out there, a little indication of what we got up to. So we're out and about. So this is going to be day after the day I go back, and just done something to the bike. Thought I'd come out for an hour. There you go. So I got another 16th Lancers berry badge on eBay. So you get the Stay Bright badge, which is the silver badge. I think they came after the all brass badge. That's the one that's in the house of my dad's own one, is an all brass badge. So how I did this, basically marked it with a marker pen, drilled through. They don't want to center punch that because that's soft. That's an aftermarket peak. There's a name for these. You'll come back in the comments and tell me. So I just carefully drilled with like a 2mm drill, but then took it out to about 4, I think it was. And then I got a split pin to fit through. I then changed it to a longer one and cut it down a bit. Took the headlight off, and then turning it upside down allowed me to drop the washers on to keep this tight, to stop it, because it was rattling. So there you go. I was going to put it on with like GB Weld or something, but I thought I'll just look a mess. So that really finished it off. So I don't know if I've shown you the pictures. I think I have shown you most of the pictures of my dad and his Centurion tank that he was a gunner in. So I'll just run some of the photos. So these were out in Fallenbostel in Germany, and that's him sitting in the front turret hatch. I'm not sure if it's a Mark III or Mark V Centurion. I'm sure there'll be an expert there who'll tell me, but I know it's a 105 gun, the 20-pounder. Is it 20-pounder or 25-pounder gun? Sorry, it's either 25-pounder or 20-pounder. 25-pounder, I think it is, the bigger gun. They obviously upgunned everything as they went on, didn't they? And but it's great photos. They were taken by the wireless operator of his tank, so he's really lucky to have had that chap. And I love that one of the Austin Champ stuck in the mud. And that's my dad standing with his hands on his hips. Well, the rest of them seem to be getting their hands dirty, pulling it out. So anyway, moving on then. So the Jeep's good. The brake light, which I'd sorted, has started to play up again. So I have got an aftermarket pattern switch. These are a nightmare to get into, to put on underneath. And my one, the original French one's got flat tabs on the switch. That goes on at the end of your master cylinder. So I've got some round ones. So I'll need to change them. Basically you've got to crawl underneath, and you're between the brake hoses that come out of the master cylinder. So it's micro movement on the spanner. It takes a while. Originally I took it out, you remember? Sprayed it with WD-40 and I thought I'd sorted it, but what happens is it works in the shed, then once you're out it must heat up and it just stays on. So anyway, that's another wee job to do. It's easier doing it outside in the daylight, just use the natural light. That's an aftermarket switch, as you can imagine, from who knows where. Hopefully it lasts, but the one that's on it needs changed anyway, because you need brake lights obviously. Keep the right side of the law. And another news, £12 bought me that on eBay. Now if you notice, it looks near identical to the French one. So the guy sold it listed as a NATO blackout light. So it is different here with the bolts. This one's got 4 Allen bolts, this one doesn't have anything. It's also, what else is different? It's got black or blue paint on it, I can see. It could be a Hotchkiss one. Anyway, I'm going to take all the guts out of it, and that's going to go on here, like so. When I seen it with a flat back, that's what I thought, that's perfect to sit on there. So I'll make a wee bracket, put it on there. I've got to work out for the mud, so the steering lock's on now. Make sure it's going to clear. But I want it so it's out the way for the bike, obviously, and riding. If not, I can make another side bracket, calling off for a weld one as well. We can put it up there or something. We'll work it out. Something to do on another wet day. So yeah, that's that. I'm really chuffed at putting that badge on there. That looks good. And folk won't nick it because it's stuck on with the split pin. What else then? Nothing really. I hope to get out this Friday. We're in for a really cold week. It's to be freezing by Wednesday. So how hilarious is it that we get a couple inches of snow plus drifts? As always, you get deep drifts in north of England, and you'd think it's the end of the world according to the BBC. It is unbelievable, eh? I mean, people live with that every year in the Highlands, up around Cairngorms, Abbeymoor and stuff. It's just nonsense. But you see why they had to do away with their laws regarding banning wood burning stoves, because people up there are used to power cuts. A lot of them have generators and stuff. Anyway, moving on. So the bike's good to go, and as I say, if it's wet, I'll just be using the Jeep. I'm going to go take these covers back out, roll them out. G wants to have a look at them because she said another set of eyes on them could obviously help you work something out that you can. I'm sure the bits bolted together on them. Listen, did you know a French Willys Jeep was actually in the Gulf War in 1990? And there is photos of it on a website which I've pinched. Hopefully I don't get in trouble for doing that, so I'll show you these pictures while I'll discuss this. So the French, it's quite amazing that they used 12,000 odd or something World War II Jeeps after World War II. There's that famous picture I can drop in the now of them all stacked up. You'll see they've got the screens off them and the wheels off them, and just stacked them all on top of each other. Then 1954 they started manufacturing parts under license of Willys Overland, which is why it says on the database under license. And these are, every part, as I've already told you, was identical to a Willys MB, which is the same as a Ford GPW, part for part, and just the two factories that built them during the war. Anyway, so they were still driving one in 1990 in the French military, and you'll see it in the convoy. So the great thing about the day the Gulf War started was it was the day I passed my motorbike test, and it was like -5 in my test. And I remember riding home after ripping the L plates off, and burst into the house. I was still living at home. I was like 18 or 19. Dad, I've passed my bike test. And my dad said, well, that's all we need, because we're now bombing in Iraq. And that was it, the start of Desert Storm. And we sat and watched all the live footage. So the folk that I was at school with who joined the army and left school, obviously most of them were in the Gulf War. So there you go, Desert Storm. And I still would love to paint this desert, but it's so much work to paint it all. It's more work than I'll try to just get another Jeep, buy another one and do it. What I'd love to see, they did the last 2 years. This was partly 65 registered, but as we know now, it was made in 69, end of line job, when they made the last load of chassis up. But the last 2 years they actually made them under the government contract, the malt numbers and all that. They had the Peugeot diesel engine in them, the million mile engine, or whatever they call it. It's in all the 504 taxis and stuff, Peugeots. I'd love to buy one with a diesel engine. Why? Because they will run on biodiesel, anything really. and you could actually afford to go away in it regularly. Anyway, that's enough waffle. Hopefully, I'm going to get out on Friday. It's to be clear, freezing first thing, but I'll be going out anyway on the bike. They'll have enough road salt on, because I can actually go down into Berwickshire and I've got a bit I can film. If there's no wind as forecast, I'll put the drone up again. I'll give you a wee film along a track, and it won't be on till the Friday evening if I go out in the morning for obvious reasons and film. So don't be alarmed. There's no film till later on, sort of 6 o'clock at night. But it'll be on for you for Friday night weekend. Okay. As always, thanks everyone. Loads of new subscribers. That's really cool. I really appreciate folk, new guys coming and women who have come over and said hello. And thank you. All right. See you again soon. Bye.